Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so glad you're here. Look, today we're unpacking something that is literally reshaping how we learn and work. We're talking about big data within the Vocational Education and Training, or VET, landscape. If you're an educator, a trainer, or even a student navigating the future of work, understanding how to actually build and use big data roadmaps, well, it isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's your ultimate survival strategy. All right, let's dive right in.
So, I gotta ask, are you ready for the data skills revolution? Because ready or not, massive technological shifts are disrupting classrooms and careers at warp speed. There's this widening gap between the skills we currently have and what the industry actually demands, especially in the digital space. If we just lean on our old, outdated data systems, that gap, it's only going to get bigger. But if we adapt, we unlock some seriously incredible pathways for employability and lifelong learning.
And this brilliantly illustrates the high stakes we're dealing with. The World Economic Forum's 2025 projection makes it crystal clear. AI and big data are not just corporate buzzwords anymore. They are absolute key competencies. Employers are demanding nuanced, analytical thinking. That flexibility is now a mandatory human attribute if you want to land any mid to high skill role. The landscape has shifted, and our education models have to shift right along with it.
Here is the roadmap for our Explainer today. We'll be covering 1. Navigating future market demands. 2. Decoding big data in VET. 3. Lifelong learning data roadmaps. 4. Building resilience through simulations. 5. Overcoming common implementation barriers. And finally, 6. Actionable steps and resources.
Section 1. Navigating future market demands.
Think about it this way. Just like meteorologists aggregate tons of data to predict an actual, physical storm, organizations today have to aggregate data to forecast market trends. Building data literacy is essentially learning how to read the clouds and carry an umbrella so you can survive upcoming economic storms. If you don't understand the patterns, you're absolutely going to get soaked by market turbulence.
Moving on to Section 2, Decoding Big Data in VET.
It really helps to think of data like an oil refinery. Raw data is exactly like crude oil. It's messy, it's completely unrefined, and frankly, it's pretty chaotic when you first look at it. The real value only happens after you refine it, clean it up, analyze it, and distribute it into actionable dashboards. So, as a trainer today, you're essentially a refinery engineer. You've got to teach the processes, the safety, and the quality control needed to extract actual value from all that raw information.
But let's get a concrete definition here. Big data in VET is basically any data set whose volume, velocity, or variety totally exceeds the capacity of your conventional spreadsheets. We call these the 3 V's of big data. If you can't easily open it up and analyze it in a standard spreadsheet app because it's way too huge, moving way too fast, or just too complex, congratulations, you are officially in big data territory. Let's compare a traditional classroom setup to this new reality. Traditional data, that's your basic daily attendance or simple test scores. Big data, on the other hand, is the millions of sensor logs pouring in from a high-tech manufacturing line. Or it's the massive continuous stream of interaction records generated by learners clicking around inside a learning management system. That is the massive leap we're talking about. Okay, Section 3, Lifelong Learning Data Roadmaps. Creating an individualized big data roadmap really comes down to 3 logical steps. First up, you have to identify the learner's baseline data literacy. Where are they starting from? Second, you sequence modular content. Think MOOCs, peer learning circles, or micro-internships. This totally avoids reinventing the wheel. And third, you guide the learner toward recognized credentials. This step-by-step roadmap gives learners incredible agency so they can confidently navigate their own educational journey. A fantastic real-world example of this is happening right now at institutions like SCPU. They use these digital learner passports. Basically, these passports track competencies as a student progresses, giving them a really clear guide for their next learning steps. And the best part? They act as verifiable proof for employers during the hiring process. It's just a perfect bridge connecting formal and non-formal education.
Let's jump to Section 4, Building Resilience Through Simulations.
Putting learners into data-rich scenarios is an absolute game changer. When you simulate a data crisis, let's say a sudden supply chain disruption, participants are forced to interpret uncertain signals and just iterate their hypotheses on the fly. And here's the thing, this isn't just cognitive training, it's actually emotional training for stress regulation and social training for cross-functional coordination. It teaches you how to take a crisis and transform it into an actionable insight.
A perfect example of this in action is the BMW Group. They actually found that engaging their apprentices in agile, data-centric projects directly elevated their confidence in problem-solving. It also significantly sped up how fast they adapted to new digital tools. Honestly, hands-on data labs prepare you for the real world in ways that passive lectures just never could.
Section 5. Overcoming common implementation barriers.
I know this can feel overwhelming, so let's dismantle the 3 biggest roadblocks right now. Worried about complex coding requirements? The solution is simple. You don't need to be a programmer on day one. Start with visual tools like Power BI or Tableau and focus on data ethics first. Stressed about massive infrastructure costs? You can dodge those hefty initial fees by using cloud pay-as-you-go models like AWS or Google Cloud and tapping into open-source stacks. Concerned about data privacy? Just strictly adhere to frameworks like the GDPR. Focus on lawful bases, practice data minimization, and always anonymize learner data.
Which brings us to Section 6, Actionable Steps and Resources.
All right, here is your starter pack. Coursera offers a fantastic deep dive big data specialization from UC San Diego. If you're a total novice, FutureLearn has a great free tier called Data Literacy for All. Looking for hands-on interactive labs? Check out Google Cloud's Skills Boost. For self-paced learning that's tailored to career switchers or youth, IBM Skills Build is phenomenal. And finally, Kaggle Learn gives you these awesome bite-sized notebooks and practical data sets to play around with.
Look, you don't need to boil the ocean today. Just take these immediate next steps. Number 1, start small. Take a week's worth of classroom attendance and analyze it in a spreadsheet. Number 2, visualize early. Seriously, a simple line chart will often reveal an anomaly way faster than some complex mathematical model. And number 3, explore open data portals like data.europa.eu just to get comfortable interacting with public data infrastructures. Remember, basic visual literacy always precedes complex coding.
So why does all this matter on a macro level? Well, sector-wide big data fluency is literally what will secure educational funding moving forward. It proactively attracts employer co-investment by creating the cycle of continual relevance. Embedding these big data roadmaps into your strategies is exactly how institutions, trainers, and trainees keep a really sharp competitive edge in a job market that is evolving at breakneck speed. The clouds have gathered, and the data storm is officially here. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to build your refinery and extract immense value from this information? Or will you be left behind without an umbrella in the job market of tomorrow? The resources are right at your fingertips. Take that first step today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really can't wait to see how you harness the power of your data.